Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host, Tashana. Let's get into this. So, hi guys. This evening we are not going to be discussing aliens. We will return to that shortly, but the creator gave me a message. This download actually came in parts. I got the first piece of it about a week ago, and then over a matter of days it came together, today. So you can create your fate, right? But your destiny is given to you. We've been discussing these different cycles, right? And how this cosmic cycle, it ranges from 225 to 250 million years, and how all of these different cycles within that cycle, they lapse into one another, and how we have all these different shifts in timelines and dimensions and realities, and people die, people are born, and different energies come alive, portals are open, portals are closed. Different things start to manifest in each of these realities, right? In every realm, in every dimension, on several timelines, okay? We have pieces of us that are in these spaces, okay? Some of these spaces we've graduated from, and then there are other spaces that we have yet to get to, right? So this is how you get to be able to create rather than having a destiny, okay? Now, some of us have spirits and journeys that we have to go on, okay? That is your destiny. That is what the creator created you to do. In some realities, you are pretty much the same energy or same type of energy in each of these realities, depending on the cycle, okay? As you start to phase through these different journeys, your spirit is now graduating and advancing and moving up in the ranks in the spirit realm, right? And this is assuming that you've done what you were supposed to do, how you were supposed to do it, and the creator allowed you to advance to the next level. We're all coming from this lower level dimension unless the creator already had something in particular. This is like standard spiritual advancement and elevation, okay? We're born, we start at this very low level, and then as we start to do what our soul is created to do, we get to expand, okay? When you get to the point where you can create your fate, okay, you have gone through a particular level or amount of stages as far as your soul's growth is concerned. The journey that you're on is everlasting. It's like an evolving door, okay? You're going to always be somewhere in some dimension trying to attain and obtain certain frequencies in order for your spirit to grow and advance and become even bigger in space and in time, right? And a lot of this is unconscious. A lot of this, in our waking lives, we're not necessarily thinking about certain things, right? Until you reach that enlightenment, until you reach the period where you are conscious, right? And you start making certain decisions that is intentionally geared towards your spirit's advancement, okay? This is how you start to intertwine destiny with fate. You are making choices. The creator is allowing you to make choices. We all have choices, right? But what's going on is, it's like you're making a choice that you know you're supposed to make. You're making a choice that you don't want to make, you're making a choice that you want to make and you know you shouldn't. There's different scenarios, right? These are the different paths that we talked about, taking either the higher vibration or the lower vibration of your soul's journey. We're going through steps. It's like growing through life, right? As from a kid to an adult, you go through all these different phases and stages. Your spirit does this in the spirit realm in different realities, in different dimensions. As you develop in your spirit, this is like how they're like, oh, this kid has been here before, or oh, you remind me of so and so, or oh, when I'm around you, I get a certain vibration. You motivate me. I feel loved. I get extra energy, or I get bad vibes, right? All of those things are pieces and clues to your spirit, and they all have different meanings. But when you get these triggers, physical triggers that trigger you emotionally, mentally, and then they lead to spiritual encounters or spiritual realizations or anything that has something to do with the unseen, those are like links that are allowing you to start understanding yourself on a spiritual aspect. Now, the people who are just coming into their awakenings now, they've actually skipped a few steps, if you will. The people who were already enlightened, the people who were already, let's say, spiritually aware, conscious, whether it's spiritual or religious, right? It doesn't matter. If you've had a particular level of spiritual knowledge and involvement, you've gone through the lower level ranks as far as this timeline is concerned. So what do I mean? The rest of the people were in a slumber while you were awake. So you had to go through a lot more warfare, because the people, and I mean this on a conscious level, you know, like a spiritual level, a worldwide, national level, just everybody being on a particular vibration. You've had to go through these different phases of watching people have to elevate, right? Meaning you were ahead of the curve. The people who are just jumping into spirituality now, they are jumping into it already with a set or a standard of the vibration, if that makes sense, right? They didn't have to phase through all those different darker levels. So that is also a telltale sign that your spirit's journey has been ongoing, right? They got to kind of just jump in. They're saying, okay, I can feel a shift. I can see that things are changing. A lot of people are pretty much forced to rise in vibration, or they'll get left behind. Like either they'll physically die, or they'll just have so many different things going on spiritually and emotionally that they won't be able to keep up with their own lives, right? So as you start to make your way, you get to see other people join, you know, the train, get on the train, and they start boarding the train, and you're kind of like, okay, finally, I'm seeing people board the train. I've been riding this thing for a while. Okay, finally, we can get some movement going, okay? Most people feel like, oh, I have to, you know, do this. No, and we've talked about this, how you can start your journey, how you can wake up and rise up and vibrate at a certain frequency, right? We've talked about that. It's a few segments back, maybe from last year. But the gist here is to understand that your spiritual advancement is connected to all of you in all of the realms, okay? Not just here in this space. This is why it's important to pray and fast, to be in alignment. That is what alignment means. People think alignment and anointment and blessings are the same. No. God can just bless you because he wants to bless you. That doesn't mean that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and when you're supposed to be doing it, how and where and with whom. Right? That's not the same thing. Of course, your obedience and your intuition can guide you to your alignment, but they're not the same. Your anointing comes from the Creator gifting you with a set of gifts to allow you to go through the journey in a particular manner. Those are different things. And I think once people learn to make those distinctions, you'll be able to, put it together a little better. Like, some bloodlines just have things connected to them, right? Like, and we'll get into this because this is a different topic, but how people can be like bad witches, and you're like, how can they be so fucked up and so successful? Excuse my French. And it's because it's something that the Creator allowed to be attached to that bloodline, right? But then you have people that are out here doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing, and you can see the karma just trickle down throughout the bloodline. It's because that is not something that the Creator wants tied to that bloodline. So the karma is going to be crazy. They're out of bounds. So this thing, the spiritual thing that we have going on, it's comprised of so many different compartments, and you're only going, like, I can only understand what is going on in the spiritual world based on the gifts that the Creator gave me. I can only have insight based on the perspective that the Creator has given me, and the way that he wants me to reiterate certain things is the way he gives it to me. This is the way he tells me to put things together. The way he created me to think and operate, the experiences that I have has allowed me to be able to identify things and to be able to see things from a different lens. And we all have that, right? This is your experience. This is your spiritual growth. This is your seat. You can only be in a position if you've experienced certain things to get there. And of course you can empathize and things like that. But on a full wide scale, again, the gist here is to be in awareness. Once you make the realization that you are connected to different timelines, there are people, this is just you're one spectacle, and you're broken up into millions of pieces across timelines. And we've discussed that, right? We've talked about that. This is like spirituality 101. We have different versions of ourselves. And the more you advance, the more, and this is what that highest self is. This is why I always say, you never want to be at your highest self because you're done. You've reached the ultimate, goal. You're done. There's nothing else for your soul to do. That is why I always say your higher self, not your highest. You don't want to ever reach that is the ultimate goal, but you're done at that point. If you know what I mean, right? Your soul would have no more traveling to do. That would be the end of your journey. That's the whole purpose of the journey. Your journey is not just here in this waking life. And even, with being in the spiritual world, that is a different realm. It's a different dimension with intertwining timelines, if that makes sense. The same here, how we have 1950s, 1920s here in this life, that those are different timelines in this one dimension. The same way it is in the spirit world. It's different timelines. And some of us have experienced a bunch of them. And this is how you get to grow and develop and move up in the ranks. Also aside from the bloodline and the purpose, right? But I'll end it here. I do love y'all. Happy Friday. I hope y'all drink y'all water, eat y'all fruit and y'all vegetables, and sip on your own tea because it's free. And have a good weekend, y'all. Get some rest. Love y'all. Peace.